In 771 BC, a she-wolf nurses twins, Romulus and Remus, a legend hiding ambition and blood that births an empire. By 753 BC, Romulus murders his brother Remus. He names the city Rome. From betrayal, a city destined for empire rises. By 509 BC, Tarquin's son rapes Lucretia, sparking revolt. The Roman Republic is born, but violence is its heartbeat. Lucretia's suicide fuels revolt. No Roman woman shamed. Her death topples Tarquin, igniting a new era. February 509 BC, Brutus leads a revolution, ousting Tarquin. The Republic rises, fragile but defiant. Tarquin flees to Etruria, vowing revenge. The Republic's first enemy, its own exiled king. March 509 BC, the Senate vows, no more kings. But the lapis niger beneath whispers of Rome's cursed origins. In 509 BC, consuls replace kings. The fascia's missing axes promise justice, no executions without trial. Brutus' sons plot for Tarquin. His verdict? Death. The Republic's father becomes its executioner. By 494 BC, plebeians strike, forcing the Senate to create tribunes, giving the people a voice. Tribunes' veto shields plebs from unjust laws, strengthening Rome despite patrician resentment. In 451 BC, Rome's laws are carved, banning plebeian patrician unions, sowing discord. In 449 BC, plebs secede, demanding debt relief. The Senate yields, balancing power. In 458 BC, Cincinnatus saves Rome in 16 days, then returns to farming, a legend of duty. In 508 BC, Tarquin rallies Etruscans. Rome's fate rests on one bridge and one man. Horatius defends the bridge, shouting, "Tiber, receive me." His stand saves Rome. By 390 BC, Gauls near the capital line, sacred geese sound the alarm, saving Rome. Brennus demands gold, sneering, "Woe to the vanquished." Rome's shame fuels redemption. Camillus defeats the Gauls, proving steel restores honor, strengthening Rome's spirit. In 378 BC, Rome builds 12-meter walls, vowing never to be defenseless again. In 321 BC, Rome's army is humiliated at Caudine Forks, fueling a hunger for dominance. By 305 BC, Rome scorches Samnium, swearing, never negotiate after defeat, ambition soaring. In 280 BC, Pyrrhus brings elephants to Heraclea, testing Rome's resilience with fearsome beasts. Elephants crush 7,000 Romans at Heraclea, but Pyrrhus's losses warn of Rome's tenacity. Pyrrhus laments, "Another victory ruins me." Rome's endless resolve outpaces his losses. In 279 BC, at Asculum, Pyrrhus wins but loses 6,000, birthing Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhus chases glory in Sicily, leaving Italy open. Rome rebuilds, plotting conquest. By 275 BC, Rome blinds Pyrrhus's elephants, crushing his army. He flees Italy. Pyrrhus warns, Rome battles Carthage next. His prophecy heralds the Punic Wars. In 274 BC, Rome adopts cohorts, readying legions for Carthage, a looming naval foe. By 272 BC, Samnites fall. Via Appia links conquests, signaling Rome's imperial dreams. In 264 BC, Sicily's plea ignites the First Punic War against Carthage's naval might. In 260 BC, Rome builds 120 ships, copying Carthage, determined to rule the seas. The Corvus, a spiked bridge, turns naval battles into Roman infantry victories. At Mille, Corvus captures 50 Punic ships, proving Rome's naval prowess. Carthage targets Corvus' weaknesses, forcing Rome to adapt its naval strategy. Rome masters night raids, outpacing Carthage's navigators, seizing the advantage. At Ecnomus, 330 Roman ships trap Carthage's fleet, shattering their naval power. Hamilcar's ambush fails against Rome's resilience, proving their adaptability in war. Legionaries swim, sinking 94 Punic ships, losing 24, strengthening Rome's navy. In 255 BC, a hurricane drowns 100,000 Romans. The Senate orders, build another fleet. After Drepana, Rome abandons Corvus, embracing speed to outmaneuver Carthage. In 241 BC, Rome's swift ships burn Carthage's fleet, ending the First Punic War. Hamilcar's son Hannibal sees Carthage's defeat, vowing vengeance against Rome. Carthage cedes Sicily, pays heavily. Rome rises as a naval power, eyeing Spain. In 240 BC, mercenaries ravage Carthage, weakening it as Rome grows stronger. By 237 BC, Hamilcar seizes Spain's mines, funding revenge. Hannibal learns war. Hamilcar binds Hannibal to eternal enmity, forging a legacy of vengeance. In 231 BC, Rome sets the Ebro line. Hannibal trains to defy it. In 228 BC, Hamilcar dies, saving Hannibal, who swears Rome's destruction. Hannibal leads Carthage's army, his hatred aimed at Rome's heart. In 226 BC, Hasdrubal honors the Ebro, but Saguntum tempts Hannibal's war. In 219 BC, Hannibal sacks Saguntum, sparking the Second Punic War against Rome. Rome demands Hannibal's surrender. Carthage chooses war. He marches for the Alps. In 218 BC, Hannibal burns his ships, declaring, "Conquer or die," facing the Alps. Hannibal rafts elephants across rivers. One drowns its handler, but 36 survive. Allobroges ambush Hannibal, killing 3,000 men and 12 elephants in the Alps. Suros, Hannibal's last elephant, cuts through ice. 7 reach Italy, unbroken. After 15 days, 25,000 survivors see Italy. Hannibal rallies. You're atop Rome's walls. At Trebia, Hannibal hides in snow, luring Romans to a frozen trap. Elephants scatter Rome's cavalry. 20,000 legionaries die in icy waters. In 217 BC, Hannibal's spies sow fear in Rome as the Senate braces. Hannibal plans Cannae, a trap to shatter Rome's spirit in one battle. Fabius scorches Italy's crops, starving Hannibal, buying Rome precious time. Hannibal plans Cannae's annihilation, inspired by Pyrrhus, aiming for total victory. Rome's siege engines near Cannae, but Hannibal's forces slip through, outsmarting them. Greek ballista fail Rome. Archimedes mocks their crude designs from Syracuse. Archimedes' claws and mirrors sink Roman ships, defying numbers with genius. In 212 BC, Rome's trenches choke Capua. Deserters face crucifixion, a grim warning. In 211 BC, Rome poisons Capua's water, breaking its will with desperation. Diseased prisoners are hurled into Capua. Hannibal won't come. The city falls. In Syracuse's tunnels, Roman sappers fight defenders. The city's fate darkens. Syracuse falls. Archimedes dies, calculating. Marcellus mourns a lost genius. In 210 BC, Scipio vows to seize Carthago Nova, Hannibal's key supply hub. Scipio uses the lagoon's drainage, leading men through sewage to breach walls. In 209 BC, Scipio captures Carthago Nova, crippling Hannibal's supply line. Spanish tribes call Scipio Hercules, reborn, as Carthago Nova falls to Rome. Scipio frees hostages, winning tribes. You fight like Hannibal, rule like a king. A traitor guides Rome to Tarentum. Hannibal loses the city by dawn. Scipio uses Hannibal's tactics, letting Hasdrubal escape to Italy, splitting Carthage. The Senate fears Scipio's ambition. Fabius warns he'll become Hannibal. Spain falls. At Ilipa, Scipio's Cannae-like tactics annihilate 48,000 Carthaginians in hours. Massinissa, Carthage's cavalry leader, defects to Scipio, seeking a throne. Scipio burns his fleet, echoing Hannibal, marching on Africa to force Carthage's hand. Massinnissa's cavalry races 120 kilometers daily, reading mirages, outpacing Carthage's scouts. Massinissa turns Hannibal's fake retreat against him, trapping pursuers in ambush. Numidian riders swap horses mid-gallop, making 500 seem thousands, sowing chaos. Massinnissa's silent hooves overrun camps, striking fear into Carthage's heart. Massinnissa's fires guide Scipio's fleet, burning Syphax's grain, lighting victory. At Zama's prelude, Massinissa's riders spark a stampede, shattering Carthage's scouts. In 202 BC, Hannibal's 80 elephants charge Zama. Scipio's trumpets turn them back. Massinissa's cavalry encircles Hannibal, trapping his army. Carthage collapses. Hannibal escapes, but 20,000 fall. Scipio Africanus becomes Rome's eternal savior. In 201 BC, Carthage surrenders Spain, its fleet, and 10,000 talents. Rome reigns. In 200 BC, Philip V defies Rome, igniting war as the empire hungers eastward. At Cannae, Flamininus shatters Philip's phalanxes. Greece bows to Rome. Antiochus III and Hannibal ally against Rome, but their dreams of victory falter. Scipio crushes Antiochus at Magnesia, capturing 50,000. Rome's empire swells. Scipio's triumph dazzles, but the Senate fears his power. Poisoned by suspicion, exiled, Scipio dies cursing Rome's ingratitude, a hero betrayed by his city. In 171 BC, Perseus seeks Greek freedom. Rome's legions prepare to crush him. At Pydna, Pallas ends Macedonian kings. Greece becomes Rome's province. In 149 BC, Cato demands, Carthage must die, rallying Rome against its rival. Rome seals Carthage's harbor, starving the city. Hasdrubal's defiance holds firm. Hasdrubal arms every citizen, turning Carthage into a fortress against Rome. Scipio Aemilianus vows to end Carthage, driven by his ancestors' legacy. In 146 BC, the Achaean League defies Rome, facing the Republic's wrath. Corinth burns, its people enslaved. Rome's dominance is cemented in blood. In 146 BC, Carthage burns for 17 days. 50,000 face slavery, a civilization lost. Scipio salts the earth, weeping, Rome may fall. His curse haunts the empire. Rome's dominion spans Spain to Syria, a golden age shadowed by cracks. Slaves displace farmers, fraying Rome's foundation as inequality festers. Tiberius Gracchus demands land reform, but the Senate fears a king's shadow. In 133 BC, senators kill Tiberius, spilling Roman blood, igniting civil strife. Gaius Gracchus pushes grain subsidies, but the Senate brands him a demagogue. In 121 BC, Gaius and 3,000 are slaughtered, bleeding out the Republic's ideals. In 112 BC, Jugurtha mocks Rome's corruption, sparking a war against rebellion. Marius crushes Jugurtha, arming the landless, reshaping legions loyal to him. In 105 BC, Cimbri kill 80,000 Romans. Marius returns to save the city. Marius arms the poor, creating legions loyal to him. Sowing betrayal seeds, Marius destroys 120,000 Cimbri, hailed as savior, but feared by elites. In 90 BC, allies demand citizenship, sparking the social war within Rome. In 88 BC, Sulla marches on Rome, breaking tradition with his army's might. Marius slaughters Sulla's supporters, scarring the Republic with civil war. Sulla triumphs at Colline Gate, his proscriptions killing 4,000 Romans. Sulla's dictatorship restores the Senate, but liberty lies buried under terror. In 73 BC, Spartacus leads 70,000 slaves, shaking Rome's core with rebellion. Spartacus defeats two armies but lacks a plan to topple Rome's might. Crassus traps Spartacus with walls, cutting off the rebellion's escape. Spartacus falls, 6,000 slaves are crucified along Via Appia, a grim warning. In 60 BC, Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus form the triumvirate, dividing power. Caesar conquers Gaul, his legions loyal to him, threatening Rome's balance. In 49 BC, Caesar crosses the Rubicon. The die is cast. Civil war erupts. At Pharsalus, Caesar crushes Pompey, holding Rome's fate in one man. In 44 BC, Brutus and Cassius kill Caesar, hoping to save the Republic. Octavian, Antony, and Lepidus purge 300 senators, plunging Rome into chaos. In 42 BC, Octavian and Antony crush Brutus at Philippi, burying the Republic. Antony and Cleopatra dream of an Eastern Empire, challenging Octavian's vision. In 31 BC, Octavian sinks Antony's fleet at Actium. Cleopatra and Antony fall. Antony dies by his sword. Cleopatra chooses poison. Egypt becomes Rome's. In 27 BC, Octavian becomes Augustus, Rome's first emperor. The Republic dies. Augustus brings peace, but the Senate kneels, its power a fading shadow. In 9 AD, Arminius ambushes legions in Teutoburg. Augustus mourns his loss. Praetorian Guard crowns emperors, ruling Rome with steel, not law. Caligula's madness demands worship, appointing his horse to the Senate. In 64 AD, Nero blames Christians for Rome's fire, his dreams drowned in blood. In 69 AD, 4 emperors vie for power, fracturing Rome's unity. Trajan expands Rome's borders, but internal cracks threaten its collapse. Hadrian builds walls against barbarians, as Rome's ambition begins to wane. The Antonine Plague kills millions, weakening Rome's legions and economy. By 235 AD, 50 emperors fall in 50 years as barbarians tear Rome apart. Diocletian divides the empire into 4, sacrificing unity for survival. In 312 AD, Constantine's Christian vision at Milvian Bridge reshapes Rome's soul. In 476 AD, Odoacer deposes Romulus, Augustulus. Rome's empire falls. Rome's legacy, laws, language, culture, endures, shaping the world through time.